And we're here.
Hi. We are here.
Oh man. So that was a nice little warm up. Hope everybody is doing fantastic.
Please.
Real quick introduction again. I'm Drew Bridewell and this is
Jude Bridewell.
and we are your hosts for today's show for Design with Us. Real quick, just to make sure that our sound is right and that you can hear us crystal clear, could you please give us a shout out in the comments and just let us know if you can hear us okay? And we'll just keep going through, and you can see that I definitely have the COVID haircut, wild hair, and Jude's hair is growing out pretty big too. So
It's
that's
so long. I hate it.
it's long, but it's looking
So
really nice, Jude.
Annoying.
And last week we went through the design brief. We went through a little bit more of the work that we were doing, and today we're really excited to show you some of the work we did this week around. We made a couple prototypes. One of them is actually functioning, and it's a game that you can even go and check. You could play right now.
Right this second, while we're talking.
You could play it right this second, but you could hang out with us first.
Yes, please.
Yeah, hang out with us first. And then we're going to show you that, and then we're also going to show you a couple other things. We're going to show you our concept, which we fine-tuned, and now we have a very clear concept of what we want to build and design. And we're also going to show you kind of like the format and the template of how we're breaking out each of these gaming structures. So we have about 20 or so different categories of things that we need to fill out and things that we need to answer over the time. So we've learned that building a game, and just in the 2 weeks time that building a game is, there's just so much more to it than just saying that you're going to build a game. So we've learned a lot, and we're going to share a lot of that with you. And if you have questions, comments about product design or about game design, then you can put them in the comments below, and we'll get to them throughout the show. And anything else you want to add, Jude?
Yeah, that was good.
Okay, cool. We're ready to go. So what I want to do first is I want to start sharing my screen. And what you're going to be seeing here is a Figma file. So if you haven't heard of Figma, Figma. Figma is a design tool that we are using to basically architect this game from ground zero to, till we get this game up
100,000
to 100,000.
100,000.
And what is really cool about Figma is it's a free tool and it's live. So basically this show is live, and then everything that we are designing and it's all live. So if we had multiple people on our team working with us, they could be editing this file alongside with us.
Really?
Yeah, man.
That's cool.
That's cool. So when Jude's in his room and if I'm in the studio here, then he could be working on this in his room and I could be working on it here, and we wouldn't really miss a beat. So that is something really cool. So we're using that. But what you see here is, let me zoom way out. So I'm just hitting Command minus on the keyboard to go way out. And you could start to see all these different categories of things that make up a video game. So let me just walk you through that real quick, and then we're actually going to show you the two things that we were focusing on first, because in our previous weeks, which you can kind of see here, we did some early brainstorming, we did some early concepting as far as like what games we needed to look at, and did some research on those. There's the 3 Fishing Simulator, Adopt Me, and Roblox games. We also had some of our documentation for what we did across the, our mind maps and kind of what we were thinking as far as the structure of the show.
Someone can't hear. Oh, no. You cannot hear.
So we got Bruno can hear, and it looks like Yunus can't hear. Can you try again and let us know if you can't hear? And Jude, would you actually mind running back over into our backup team to see if the backup team can hear?
Backup team.
All right, be back. Jude's going to come right back. And it's just really important for us to make sure that everyone can hear what's going on here. So again, then we actually jumped into some coding and we practiced some of our structure. So we're going to show you the game today. And then we also had some of our top action steps that we needed to follow. And then even so, we have these other coaching tips that I usually use for things that I need to do to map out the experiences. But we're not going to do that today. We're going to jump back over into this document where you see the concept and the logline. Can you hear it?
Yeah.
All right, we're going to keep proceeding. Now I can hear. All right,
Good.
awesome. Thumbs up. Thumbs up, high five. Sending the good energy out to you. What's that, Jude?
Good.
All right, cool. So I'm just gonna, I'm gonna highlight these, but I don't want those.
That's a scary red.
It's a scary red. Okay, what's another color that wouldn't be scary?
Blue.
All right, let's use blue.
Blue.
All right, yeah, that's cool. That's chill. And I'm gonna do about 6 pixels. Okay, cool. We're just gonna be focusing on these two things today, and just to give you an idea, and let me make sure. Okay, yeah, it's big enough. We have the general gameplay. So in the general gameplay of what we're doing, we have concept and the log line. The log line is essentially in two sentences, what does your game do? And then the concept is a little bit more definition, of the game, and we're going to share that with you. The other things that we need to include are key features, the player experience, the mood that we're looking for, the audience, the core mechanics, elevator pitch, and then we get into the technical side of the game. Technical side, which is the platform, the engine that runs this thing, the save data. So we're also thinking about, we're going to have a locker room inside the game, so we need to be able to save user data around their profile, around the things that they are collecting, the score, the point system, or the coin system, and a lot of the other things. So that's around the saved data. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. And then we're going to talk about the revenue model at some point. The revenue model. How are we going to make money from this game? Or how does the game make money if you're playing it? Or how do you get points and coins?
We could do like a thing like if you buy like this certain amount of if you buy this certain thing, you get like, we'll update the game. It's just like an idea.
Cool. I love it. I think that's great. Because like all those little things will add up, and then we can try things and remove them, and it'll be cool. Yeah. And then if during the show, like if you have ideas or things that you want to, if you have questions you want to ask, please feel free to comment, and we'll happily answer it, right?
Oh, yeah.
Cool. All right, so then we have like the art side of the game, like the visual aesthetic. So when you think of the visual aesthetic, it's like, what's the color scheme that you want to use? How do you want the game to visually look? Is it more like the Adopt Me game, or is it more like Fishing Simulator, or is it just?
Or we add them all together.
Or we add them all.
One amazing thing.
I think I like that specifically. I want to add it all. And then aesthetic references. Jude was just referring to this. The references that we've been using are those 3 games that we typically play the most. And when you're building a game or when you're designing a product, that's a really good place to start. So you have a reference point. So you're not starting from scratch. Exactly. Very good, Jude. All right. So then there's like concept art, there's font guides, like what kind of fonts are we going to use, the color specs, the user interface atlas, which we're going to show you a sneak peek right now. I'm going to go into my drawing mode, and you can see everything below us right here. Let me move the microphone out of the way. So this map, what you see here, is going to be our template, or our, that's totally fine. You can move that out of the way. Thanks, Jude. This is going to be our base map of the world. And it might just look like a sketch right now, but it's going to come to life later down the road, and that's going to have our user interface. So that's going to be a ton of fun. Let me go back to our screen cap, and then we have, so that's going to be our user interface atlas, and then we have our audio aesthetic, like what kind of sounds we're going to have in the game.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one, bro. You really put them.
Hey man, UX, product design, game design, coming at ya. All right, so then we have the music, like when moments happen. So
that's smart.
Last week we were talking about the flow. The flow of the game. So in this screen, we are talking about, in this little map. Let me zoom in. So if you're using Figma and you want to zoom in on things, you can just hit Z on your keyboard and you get this nice, fun magnifying glass. And then you can just select, oops, way too far. And then you can do that. Okay, so here, put in the middle of the screen. Perfecto. So when we're talking about the sounds and the other types of events that happen in the game, when they first come into the game, right? It's like this little green dot. We were talking about the education of the game and the marketing and the support to kind of get people or get our audience familiar with what they're going to be doing in the game. We want there to be a nice flow of events that happen in the game. So we might have certain types of music that happen when you're in learning mode, or when you're in the locker room. Locker rooms could have certain sounds that help you remember that you're in the locker room.
That would be awesome because like that would be original.
Yeah.
No other like games do that. Only like some, but like
it's rare.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's good.
Cool.
Big brains.
Cool. And if you think that's a good idea, and if you're in the chat right now, then definitely let us comment and let us know if you think that would be something that you would like to see in a video game.
It's right over there.
It's right somewhere down. Is it here or is it over there? It's over here. It's over here. You're right. All right, cool. I'm going to go back to our game document. All right, so that's going to have the music. And then we have our plot overview, our player characters, like our other key characters. And then Jude and I were thinking in the beginning we wanted to bring narratives to the story. We wanted to elevate the game through storytelling, and we might have some unique plots in the game that we'll share later.
Yeah.
And then as far as the production, this is like our team. Like right now it's just a team of me and Jude, and want to give a big shout out to Bruno, because Bruno, one of our friends, was actually helping us test one of our games earlier today.
Shout out to you.
Shout out to you, Bruno, for helping us test, and for anybody else that got into the game and was testing, thank you. And that's kind of like your team. And then the development timeline is once we end up having our game and our structure of what we want to create, then we'll start forming more of a timeline, from start to finish. How are we going to get this built?
Yeah.
Then we'll have a budget for that. And then we'll have change log. Like, so every week, if we update a little part of the game, we need to update our gamers, and we need to do some maybe some notifications inside the game so they know what's new inside the game.
Yeah, like it shows up on the screen like, you have mail.
Yeah, okay. And then it has its own unique sounds and funny things there too. And then we have our archive features, like things that we thought about. So you can already see a game has a lot of different mechanisms and a lot of different things that you want to do. And what I was going to do first is we're going to write out what our concept was. And I was going to fill it into this block right here, because I thought this was a nice way to kind of keep structure as far as the content when we go. And I think we have a comment, so let me just check that out. And yep, thanks Bruno, thanks Adrian, like awesome, cool idea. I think that might be your squad, Jude. So that's awesome. So you got some awesome squads there. So all right, so you're gonna get to see me type a little bit, and so I'm just creating a text field. So I'm gonna do that one more time in case you've never used Figma. So I'm just going to go up to the T tool at the top, or I can just hit T on my keyboard, and then now I have and I'm gonna left align this. Okay, here we go. So I already pre-wrote some of this, but we'll be able to kind of fine tune it a little bit. So Rollerworld, that's the name of the game. That's what we're thinking as far as the structure goes. You gonna stand up a little bit? Okay. Jude's feel like standing up. Okay. Thanks, Jude. Okay. So Rollerworld, is a roller blading adventure game. That, here, I'm going to remove that enables you to experience racing with friends for competition. For friendly competition. We're not trying to even Fortnite and all those other games, it's friendly competition, right? Yeah, it's good mojo. Friendly competition. And fun, for friendly competition and fun, period. That consists of, and then I had these 3 different things, right? So I'm gonna draw little circles. One, and I actually like when I'm writing and doing this UX work, I really like to design it as I go, because if I just have like a long list of text written, and when I come back to it the next time, I want it to be kind of organized, and I don't want it to be like all over the place. So I have one. We have outfits. And if you think outfits are a good idea inside of a game, give us a shout out down below. Just go ahead and be like, outfits. What should we say in the chat if people think outfits is outfits, rollerblades, and pets? Oh, think of one, yeah.
Yeah, if you guys have any good ideas of outfits, just comment them down below.
Yeah, so in the game, the core mechanisms, you'll have outfits, rollerblades, and pets. Because why do we think pets is important too? Because you had a really good point for this earlier. So why don't you share that?
So pets, this is kind of like that income thing that you had down there, where
revenue.
Yeah, revenue. So pets, if we make this like a game pass where they have to use Robux, like I've even kind of fallen into this trap. Like, if you have Robux, you usually want these pets because they have to look good. They have to maybe give you something good, so like they double your money intake that you get from the game, and they look cool. And like, we were also thinking about like trading. So like, oh my god, it's that pet that cost Robux. Oh, I want it. You could trade for it, and yeah.
Absolutely. I think that would add a really nice, interesting dynamic to the game where, like, you get to try a lot of different things. You get to try a lot of different pets, and I think that's a really important part. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
So, okay, in the game, you can earn coins from challenges, races, and other mini games throughout the world. Ooh, very fun. With each locker, so you get a locker, and with each locker, you also get a scoreboard, and dashboard. So I'll explain what the difference is between these things. And that actually comes with you. Like, it's just, you get it with the game.
Yeah, that's a really good idea, Bruno. Maybe Christmas themed outfits for Christmas and same for Halloween. That's smart.
Okay, I'm gonna write that. So Christmas
themed outfits.
What else did you hear, Jude, from the team?
Halloween.
Oh,
like that was,
I love that.
Oh, and we could dress up the pets. Like, you could dress up pets. Yes.
That would be themed, and that would be really sticky and really fun.
I mean, Adopt Me already has dress up pets, but like,
well, we can leverage some of their thinking. I mean, a lot of games like have, well, they don't copy exactly what they do. Are there more than one game that has pets?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, then I think we'll be okay. We just want to make sure that we're not copying it like exactly. We want to take the things that we really like and then mash them with ours and then make it better. All right, cool. So cool. That's a great thing. So we have outfits, rollerblades, and pets. And the thing is, you haven't yet, each one of these 1, 2, and 3 can have subcategories and sub items that make them really special. For example, an outfit could have an outfit that makes you do special moves, or it gives you special abilities or boost. And maybe these outfits only last for a certain period of time in the game. Or maybe you have like an outfit that you wear during challenges, or you have an outfit you wear during roller derby races, like when you're racing people. So I think those types of things, we can control those by having, at the top, our outfits. All right, cool. And then we also have the rollerblades, which Jude and I love to rollerblade. And when we rollerblade, it's like this super fun thing. If you ever skateboarded, or if you've ever been skiing or snowboarding, that same feeling when you are in the zone and you're going and swooping, and we want to bring that experience to the game without giving people nausea. But we also want to do it in a fun way where there's music and there's nature and then there's adventure, and that you feel that in the game. So that's why we wanted to bring rollerblades, because there's a couple games already in Roblox that do have rollerblades, but they're roller skates. They're not rollerblades, and the rollerblades are not customizable, and they're not skin, like you can't skin them and make different styles. So that's something we also want to do. And then because Pets are awesome. Like
Pets.
what pets?
Who doesn't
And then
love pets?
this would be our core feature set, and then we could expand that over time. So we got the concept down. So let's move down to the.
Going down.
Now we're gonna go to this next. So that's our concept. Oops. Now we're gonna go down to. Oh, I lost my box here. Let me undo. There we go.
That's a lot.
So just in case you need to undo quite a bit, you can. All right, I'm gonna make a copy. So if you want to make a copy in a program like Figma, it's really easy. You just hold Option and Shift if you're on a Mac. If you're on a PC, then it would just be Control. Yeah, I think it would be Control Option, and then you would just drag it down. Or you could just do select it and hit Command D, which makes a duplicate. And a lot of other design programs are also do that if you ever want to get into design beyond what you're already doing. And I know a lot of you gamers out there, yeah, like Jude and his friends, I bet you all could be really great inside of a tool like Figma. All right, so login or logline. I keep saying log in. I don't know why I do that. All right, so the logline. Now, the logline. Here, let me just read this to you. So I have some additional notes. Yeah, because Drew likes to be organized. So the log line is one or two sentences describing the core experiences of your game. So when I took this approach, Jude, you can definitely correct me if I miss anything. So here we go. So Rollerworld, and I need to actually write this too, but I'll read it out loud right now. Or do you want to read it?
You.
Okay. Rollerworld is a rollerblading simulator game that enables fun, friendly collaboration, challenges, and collections. Rollerworld is a virtual amusement park with the goal to bring the joy of skating, adventure, and challenges with your friends. Rollerworld is a virtual amusement park targeting the love of art, movement, of blading. I was just kind of like comment.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah.
I like that. I think that's like good for the description.
Okay. Yeah. Well, thanks, Jude.
And we could do like a little bit more if we want to add, like, make it better. If we have any better ideas.
That's true.
If you have any better ideas, comment them and we'll check them out.
Yeah, we'll check them out.
If they're epic.
Because this is called Design with Us. And when we say design with us, we mean design with us. We really mean it. Because we're literally designing with us. So let me just type this out. And you know, for a second there, you'll have to kind of watch me type. Or you could actually, here, while I type this, you can look down at our drawing and see kind of like, let me move this out of the way so you can kind of see the map. It might be a little bit more interesting than watching me type. Kind of change it up for a second. Epic. All right, so Rollerworld is a rollerblading simulator.
That's the store where you buy your rollerblades.
Oh yeah, if you want to talk through that real quick while I type this.
Sure. Okay. So everyone, this is the store where like you buy your rollerblades, you buy your outfits for pets, or you buy like your, outfits for rollerblades, and yeah, you buy your pets here, and you can buy like blades, and yeah. So training room. Ooh, this looks cool. Okay. So I was thinking what could be in training room, and what could be in training room is where maybe you could like practice your rollerblading, say like you're new to the game, and like you don't really know how to, rollerblade, and you're like confusion. You can go in here and figure it out. Bam.
Can I say something to that, Jude?
Sure.
When I was thinking of the training room, I literally was thinking of X-Men. And I was thinking, here, let me go back to the camera. I was thinking of X-Men when they have the big giant dome where you get to go and they would get to fight like pretend
people?
Like pretend people, and then they would train against each other, but it was like a big arena, and I was like imagining like a big giant like multiple layers of roller rings where you get to kind of fly and you get to kind of skate and go on the like just kind of wild. And that would be like a training room where you could practice your moves and practice your things. You could bring your pets along. And it would just be kind of fun. But here,
I want to press it.
All right. Oh, you want to? Go for it.
Wait,
here we go. Jude's going to press it.
Bam.
This is our little, on our stream deck where we're running the show. We have a kind of a cool button system that allows us to change. Okay, go ahead.
And we could put like dummies in here if you want to like do your jutsus, your quirks, all your stuff. There, dummies. Little training dummies. Okay, and okay. Let's see, pets. What is this area?
So this is the locker room. And the locker room, when you come in, you have 3 stations. One to kind of see all your blades, and they're like stacked up on walls, like almost like a trophy room. You have your pets, where you can change out your pets if you have multiple pets. Almost like thinking like a fish tank for some reason in there too. And then you have your wall of outfits, like almost like a locker room where you can sit down, and your friends can come in here, but they can see your stuff, but that's pretty much it. So how's that sound?
Sounds good.
Okay.
Sounds really good.
Was there more stuff that you wanted to walk them through?
Yeah, okay. Outfits. Okay, that's good. That's good. That's good. Let's see. Level. Oh, community challenges. Ooh, that's cool. So, like, you could go here and, like, you talk to, like, some people. It's kind of like, in Walmart where, like, you go to talk to the person, like, I would like to buy this. It's kind of like that, but with, like, challenges. Like, I would like to purchase a challenge, except you're not buying it. Like, give me the challenge, please. Yes, you may have the challenge. And then over here, this is like help. This is where, like, you kind of spawn here. Well, no, you spawn here. And then there's like arrows coming from you, and they lead you to the help where you could do a tutorial. But before this screen, it shows like the loading, and then after loading, it shows like, would you like tutorial? And you press yes, and then arrows point you to help, and then helps you. Epic.
Nice, Jude. Good explanation. All right. Good job, buddy. Let's go back to the screen cap. So I'm going to zoom in here, and you can see that we wrote our log line. A log line is a Rollerworld is a rollerblading simulator game that enables fun, friendly collaboration, challenges, and collections of meaningful something, maybe items. Rollerworld is a virtual amusement park with a goal to bring the joy of skating, adventure, and challenges with your friends.
Let's have a water break. You know what?
Okay.
Water break.
Cheers.
Okay.
If you have water, this would be a good time for you to drink some water. All right.
And like the video if you like this.
Yeah, so we're about halfway through the show, and maybe let's just do like a let's just play a little like fun song while we let's see if we can hear it. All right. New one. No, okay, new one. Let's see. This one is like the up. All right, we're getting ready for this game time. Here we go. All right, enough music. All right, back to the show. All right, so what we did, we went through 2 things. Now, Jude actually walked you through this concept. So what I want to do is
still more.
There's still more to do.
There's always more.
So, oftentimes there's like a couple different ways that you can get the things that you're working on. For example, we're working on this drawing, right? We have this nice big drawing. There's a couple ways that you can get that to the screen if you've never done that before. And one way to do it is grab your smartphone and then take a shot like so. Okay?
Okay, I'll do it.
You want to do it with me? All right, so I'm going to take the first one. Boom. All right, go ahead, Jude.
Okay,
and try to get a little bit higher so you can get the whole thing. So maybe right up, yeah, a little bit higher.
Yeah, boom. Wait, no, that wait. Boom.
All right, cool.
Here it is if you guys want to see it.
All right, good job. So now that we have that image, you can go into edit mode, and you just want to kind of crop it a little bit, just like, because I don't need all that other space, and then I'm going to hit done. So now I have my image, and what I need to do is I need to get this image to my computer because I want it to be a reference piece, okay? Ooh. So now I'm going to click the other part. I'm going to drop it to my iMac. Airdrop it. And now it's over, and you can see that it was airdropped to the computer. And I'll see it. I have a downloads folder open, and I'm just going to drag it into my file. Wow, look how big it comes in.
No one can see it.
Oh, wow. Okay, so let's go back. Thanks, Jude. Jude completely caught that. So now that it's in there, what we need to do is we need to rotate this.
Oh, hello, Sebby. Good to see you here. Epic.
Thanks for joining there, Sebi.
Oh, yeah.
So we got our drawing here, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to just make a little bit of more room. I'm going to paste this back in, and what I need to do is I need to rotate this. So I'm going to come over here and rotate it 90 degrees, and now we have our map, and I'm going to actually make this a little bit smaller. Okay.
And if you want to see the beginning of the video, Sebby, you could just rewind it to the very to the very back.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to see it all.
Okay, cool. Yeah, so if you are just joining at the halfway mark, which it is the halfway mark,
We made it.
We made it, and hopefully that clap wasn't too loud on the microphone. But again, we had our training room, we had our store with our blades, coins, and pets, and even rentals. I don't know if you caught that.
Rent?
Yeah, so what I was thinking was there could be a part where if you really wanted to try a new set of rollerblades, or if you really wanted to try a new pet, that you could rent it for a certain period of time, so you don't have to buy it, and you could rent it at a cheaper price.
That's smart.
Why do you think it's smart?
I mean, because, like, again, this could be, like, tied to, like, Roblox. Maybe. Just maybe. Like, if you want to rent it for, like, maybe, like, a week or a month, like, real time, it could be, like, maybe, like, 15 Robux or, like, kind of like that.
Agreed.
Maybe.
Agreed. I think that would be really cool. I think that'd be cool. The other thing that I don't think Jude shared was the wishing well.
Oh, my gosh.
So this is the wishing fountain. So how many games have you played, or how many times have you went to a park and seen a wishing well where you get to throw a penny in or throw a quarter in and make a wish? Now, even though you never know if that wish is going to come true, it gives you hope, it gives you excitement, and it's just kind of fun throwing money into a fountain because it's just kind of like magical in certain ways, I think. What do you think?
Yeah.
It's fun. Okay, it's fun. And you know what? We want to bring joy into this game. We want to bring joy into this world, especially with COVID, and especially with all the things that are happening in the world. So this little wishing well would be a place where you can come and you can throw coins. And let me move you over. And in the game, Jude's back. In the game, you would have these coins, and you get to toss them in. And then if you toss them in, you get to write maybe a little wish or a goal or something. And then you could potentially get a new pet. You could potentially get a new set of rollerblades. And different things will come back to you, and you'll get for participating in the wishing well.
That's
So
a really good idea. That's like really big brains.
Awesome. Jude likes it.
The brains are too big.
All right. And then in the middle of this amusement park, what you're seeing here is levels, community, and challenges. So imagine having a big giant scoreboard when you come in, and this is the middle of the amusement park. So imagine a certain amount of people, like maybe there's 100 players inside the game right now, and people are walking and they're getting to see like who's the fastest racer, who has the most pets, who has different rollerblades or whatever it may be. We could put those on these boards. So what I'm thinking, Jude, is like this little area. Let me just do a rectangle here. And like this space, and I'm going to change it to our blue. So this little space right here would be a board, and then on the board you would see things like, you know, the different people that have been, you know, in the game and playing, and it would be a score thing. And then you could also, if you wanted to play, you know, maybe there's a little like play button also. And my mouse just kind of like went to sleep. Here, let me wake it. There it is. It's back. My mouse has been kind of going to sleep a little bit, and then it wakes up. So I have these like three things, and imagine there's like a big button right here.
Big button.
A big button. So to make a rectangle inside of Figma, you just hit R on your keyboard, and then you'll be able to do that. And if you wanted to come make it rounded, you can just come up here and make it rounded, and then this might say like play, and then you would be able to like.
It no work. Wrong layer.
Well, look, it's behind it, and then you can cut it and then bring it in. And then I'll make it a little smaller over here. So like just to give you a little bit of an idea, like you come over here as a little, you know, as a character, you're kind of coming, woohoo! Oh, I need to make this blue. So you come into the park and you're like, I've played this before. So if you don't need to go and get help, then you can come around here into the area and you see all the other people playing. And then you can come around and see what this game is about or what this race is about. Maybe the definition, or like this is a speed racing game or something. And then you get to go and you hit play. And then you get into the world, and then there'll be other worlds all around it. So we'll have like different worlds outside of this that are similar to this. Different islands, yeah.
Yeah, we do islands and then literally different worlds.
Yeah, so there's an island world. There's a mountain. And this could be like all the different places that we've lived. So we've lived in the Santa Fe high desert. We've lived in the mountains in Durango, Colorado. We've lived on the islands of Alameda. We've lived
We could do like snowy.
Oh, a snowland.
Snowland.
That's cool.
Or like Antarctica.
Oh, that would be cool.
Antarctica.
And then people are like,
yeah,
and then it's ice.
You can make their characters like.
Oh, they freeze. And then if anybody else has any other ideas of worlds that are biomes, ooh, I did want a biodome. And if you know what a biodome is, then definitely comment down below, because I've been doing some research on biodomes, because there was this movie. I'll just kind of like little spin off here. There's a movie here. I'll come into full view. And the movie's called Airborne. And the movie Airborne, Jude, I don't know if you've seen this yet,
Never.
but there's these kids who are incredible rollerbladers. And I remember when I watched it for the very first time, it inspired me so much to rollerblade. And it was based in Ohio, but this California kid had to move to Ohio, and he's used to surfing. He's used to having he's like a surfer dude. You know, he says the dude, and like gnarly and radical. And then he moved to Ohio where it's cold, and then basically he ends up rollerblading throughout a lot of the movie, and it just inspired me to like rollerblade.
That's cool.
But inside the movie, there's a biodome, and he gets to kind of skate through it, and you're not supposed to skate through the biodome, and he does it anyway.
Wow.
And it was so much fun to watch, and I think part of that, I want to create a biodome where you can rollerblade through like trees and nature and inside and go through hills and like a fun course.
That would be cool.
Cool. So that movie's called Airborne if you want to check it out. It's older. And there is like some bullying in the movie and some other things, so I don't condone that behavior, and I don't.
Stop.
Yeah, so don't do that. That's bad. All right. So back to the game. Like you have a help section, which is like what Ju was talking about with tutorials. Oop, I need to go back into screen cap mode.
Screen cap.
So we're talking about the help screen, and we're talking about the locker room and everything. So what we've learned so far is that we are starting to develop this more and more every day. And what I want to do is stop right here on this part and just show you that we've done this, we've done the concepts, and we're getting now into the features, the key features. So what you'll see in the next week is more action around key features and around that player experience, which is what we were just talking through. And then we're going to keep building our prototypes to help us learn more about coding and to learn more about just how this game works, building.
Bam.
So let's jump over to the game.
Yeah.
So this is the game that we that I basically coded. And what's up? And Jude's gonna take this for a spin, and he's gonna play, and I'll kind of give him the course here. So in every Roblox game, there is like a kind of a theme, and this one was what we call a Obby.
O-B-B-Y.
And then, do you want to like change seats? I could even change seats with you. Okay.
Changing seats.
I'll push you in.
Bam. Going in. Okay. So, let me just yoink. I'm just gonna. No, okay. Okay.
Is it gonna ask you to verify?
Yes, just to like the game.
Okay, just open that.
Open Roblox. We're getting in. And we made this game. Oh, he did. All by himself. That's kind of cool.
You want to go full screen?
Yes, full screen.
Awesome.
Waiting for another. Okay, joining server. We're in, guys, this is me.
Okay, Jude. So while you're playing this, I'm gonna just talk through it. Okay. So this world has 4 different checkpoints, and I didn't try to make it really hard. But what I did want to do was learn the mechanisms that if you die, so go ahead and just fall off.
I died.
Oh no, Jude died, and this was level 2. So the big thing here is when he dies, we need him to go back to stage 2, which is where he's at right now. And you can see he has to go through these lava beams, and if he hits these beams, then he's going to die.
Ah, dang it!
Like
this
he just
hard.
did, and it is not easy.
Ah.
And if Jude can make this make it through this game, we'll show you how to get to the second part.
Okay.
Okay, so each one of these has its own checkpoint. So this next world, and if Jude, and assume that you don't know.
Oh no! I like yell. Oh, Savage Boss, that's my friend.
Oh, cool. Who do we got in there?
Savage Boss, he's my friend.
Oh, awesome. Oh no! And then he fell through because we made an imaginary plate, and if you hit it, then you fall off. Oh, and he looks like he knew what it was. And now he's at the 3rd checkpoint, and then he gets to jump on these magical balloons that are floating, and then you get to the end, and that was basically the prototype that we built. And the cool thing about this is we're gonna keep expanding and learning new skills around how to bring these things to life. So, oh, that's cool. And the cool thing about this is we built this in a couple days, and really in like 2 sittings. And the other fun thing about this is you can comment, you can see the different stages that you're in, you can see the different usernames that are already playing, and great job, Jude. I gotta say, I wasn't as fast as you when I was playing it.
You need to be friendly.
Oh, that's cool. Cool. All right, so what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna get out of this.
Let me help you.
Yeah, do you want to help?
I know all the shortcuts.
Thanks, Jude. And then we're going to come over into Roblox, the game where we actually built this. And I just want to show you really quick.
This is Roblox Studio.
This is Roblox, yeah.
You don't know.
This is Roblox Studio, and inside this game, literally there are tools and areas, and then there's little coding scripts and things that you have to figure out. There's checkpoints. So these are all my checkpoints over here on the far right. So I get my started, level 2, level 3, level 4, and then I have my other checkpoints. And then I have my teams. And what we're just basically doing is we're going to continue to add to that. And I think the next thing that I've learned just through this, and there's like a floating block over there for some reason, is on this ending, what I want to happen is when you get to this level, I want to figure out how to play music when you get to this level, like this final stage. And I want some things to happen if you do that, like maybe like confetti or something like magical kind of thing happens. So that's probably another part of the game and what we're trying to figure out and how to like learn how to do this. So I wanted to make sure that you got to see some of that, because when you're building a game and when you're building a new experience, prototyping is a huge part of it. And so do you remember like when I've told you in the past about what prototyping is?
Yeah.
So what do you want to share any thoughts about it, about like why prototyping and testing is important?
I mean, if you don't test, then a million things could go bad, you know? Like, okay, I didn't test these balloons, you know? What if I fall through them? What if something impossible happens? You won't be able to test. It's not gonna work.
Mm-hmm.
Then no one's gonna like your game.
Yeah, and it doesn't take long to actually go through and test the game. You just got to play it, and you got to try it, and you got to experience it. So that was something that we finished, and we're going to continue working on that and continue getting better at that. So let me just kind of jump back over into Figma. And we have about 15 minutes left, so I think we have a little bit more time. We talked about the game, we showed the prototypes and the demos. There is another sword fighting game that we were working on in parallel. So Jude was working on that, and I was working on this other Obby. And the thing, it's much harder, and there was like a lot more code that we needed. Like, yeah, Jude, would you just even
So
like we
much.
this? I think we even had a screenshot of some of the code. Like, there's a lot more stuff that involved when you're bringing money into the game and when you're bringing in,
God. And it goes down.
and it keeps going down. So this was just to show like kind of our process and what we are creating. So there's a lot more to go there, but you can just see over the weeks we've already started to really define this a lot more.
It's only 3 weeks.
We're-
We've already got all this. That's pretty good.
Yeah, because you can see like the progress. And
Yeah.
and the thing that I like about this process is we're doing this inside of Figma, so everything is kind of documented, and it's really important to kind of keep this organization happening. Where we have our pages on the left, we have our layers and research on the right, and we can keep adding pages, Jude, as we develop our system.
Can we make hundreds of thousands?
We could, but I don't think we'll need hundreds of thousands. We'll just need a whole area of this. And what I want to do is end up making this so when we build more games or we build more experiences, we'll have a template that we use as far as how to execute it and how to implement it. So I want to pause there. And is there any questions that we have in the stream, and anybody that's on the live stream right now? Do you have any questions? Do you have anything that's on your mind about the game or about the process of where we're at right now?
Should we give them 1 minute?
We'll give them 1 minute, and since I think there might be a little delay in the video, we'll keep moving forward. And then if a comment or question comes into the chat, we will answer it. And then in a couple minutes, we're actually going to shift to reflection mode and then also talk about next steps. But I want to even get a head start and start talking about our key features. And I think we'll be able to answer our key features really easy because we've already have this sketch of our map. And I'm going to move it down a little bit so when we write this, G, we can look at our map to the right, okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to copy this, drag it down, and I'm going to call this key features. And then I'm going to center the text and move it right in the middle. Okay. And and then I'm going to do some of these boxes. And these boxes are going to be just like features, okay?
6-pack.
All right. So we had a store.
Yeah. Essentials.
We had help.
Yeah. It's another essential.
Training room.
Not essential, but very big brains.
I think what you're saying is going to come into play when we start talking about what the essentials are. Not all of these things will get built right away. We'll have to stage them out and build as we go.
Yeah. Yes, there will be. There will be things.
Ooh.
Of course.
Okay, so let's repeat the question. So the question was, will there be any other things that you can buy with Robux?
Yes, of course. Of course.
Absolutely.
I mean, of course.
So why don't you give a few examples of some things that people will be able to buy, and then I can also do that if you want some support.
Okay, so there can be like maybe a game pass where you're like, where there's you'd be like, would you like to purchase faster rollerblades for like 150 Robux? Yes, and it makes your rollerblades go speedy fast. Or there could be like another one where like you get special like equipment for your pets. Like you get special clothing for your pets where it makes them either like hecka strong, like where they give like tons of like tons of money, like they just double your money income by like hundreds of thousands. And
does that work currently in other games where you can do so? Okay,
yes.
So maybe we'll pick like some of those patterns that already exist in other games and then just make them our own, like with new like things that apply to our game.
Yeah, make it better.
Make it better.
Make
Absolutely.
better.
Yeah, some things that I was thinking about with Robux is like getting the ability to have very unique rollerblades that are almost like specialty items where you can only get them certain months out of the year. Like for say Christmas time, there's only one set of rollerblades that are super primo.
Yeah, because like, oh, we could do like seasons too. So like, if it's this season, like kind of like in Fortnite, the seasons,
Yeah.
we make it like that. And like, if you have like a season 1 skin, then I mean it's rare, and you could create it for a lot more. We have a question. When do you decide to prototype at design process? What do you think?
Okay, so the question is, when do you decide to prototype at the design process? So that's a really great question. So you can actually start prototyping as early as you have your concept. And for us, we needed to start prototyping the games because from the coaches that we've had in the master classes of, Will Wright's one of my he's a big mentor of mine when it comes to game design, and Jude's using his hands too. So Will Wright actually designed Sims. He designed some other amazing games. And what he's taught is that you need to experience these games. You need to actually get in there and make them, even if it's just a paper game or a paper prototype, so you can start developing your perspective of what you want to do. And I think just from me going through the process of learning to code, learning to build the game, I've already got a whole other set of ideas of structure and idea, like just things that we'll be able to do. And I wouldn't have been able to get there if I would have never actually built the games or actually played the games. So that was a really important. So play and build, and then fine tune your concept. And in product design, it's the same thing. You want to use tools. If you're building, say, a goal setting app, you want to play and buy and try all the goal setting apps out there in the market so you can gain a really crisp perspective of what you like, what you don't like, and then you start to self edit. And then when you're self editing, then you start to get a little bit crisper about what you want, why you want it, and then how you're going to actually do it. So you can start really early, but you don't want to do it if you're completely oblivious and you don't really know where you want to start. So when we started with our concept, now we're ready to start. We can start prototyping. And since we're beginners in coding, we're going to need to level ourselves up. And then if we end up not being able to code certain things, then we'll hire people that know how to do that certain amount of work. And bam. So I hope that answers your question. If you have another one, feel free to answer, or feel free to ask it. I'm sorry, not answer it. Feel free to ask it. Oh,
because I see you starting for
yeah, that's totally fine. There isn't like a wrong way to do it, but there is a certain like, you want to have a certain level of knowledge about what you're doing, so you're not wasting time. You want to make sure that the prototypes that you're building have a learning objective with them. So in this example, the learning objective for us was to build a prototype so we could see how simple or how hard it's going to be, and that's what we did. And it only took us a few days. And with design, you can even do that in a couple hours. You can build a prototype for an app in a couple hours inside of a tool like this and be on your way. So I just want to really quickly document this, and then we'll kind of go flip over into reflection mode. And Jude, can you keep an eye on the comments if anybody else pops something in?
Yes,
cool, my man. So we have locker rooms. I just want to make sure I document the things in here. We have help, locker room.
We didn't explain the dots around. We should explain the dots, right?
Yeah, so the dots. I was kind of trying to visualize how that was going to work in the game, but if you want, it's a concept, so we might use it, we might not. But go ahead and explain it.
Okay, so we were thinking as these dots, as you can see on the screen. So there's like within the dots, there's like a safe space, which is like training room, stores, everything that's inside of the dots is like, it's safe. It's, someone can't like attack you, but they can attack you when you're outside of the dots. And if someone kills you for literally no reason, they get like fame points. So you start at like 100 fame, and then say you kill someone that didn't deserve it, they get down famed, and then they get like a title like bully or like bad person or like something like that. So yeah, it would be like that. But if you killed the bully, you would get like nice guy, bodyguard. Just ranks that would make you like, yeah, this guy is not gonna kill me. I trust him.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And I think that inspiration's coming because in a lot of these Roblox games, there's a lot of bullying that can happen when you are taking people out that don't have as much power. You're in like a game where you have spent a lot of time and effort and you've built up the strength, but new players aren't as strong, and to go in and just kill them because you can isn't very cool. So you would lose points in that certain realm. Same thing actually happens for Fortnite when you're playing Fortnite and there's like, we call them sweats, and they're like really good and they come in the game and just destroy you. But really, you were just like, there wasn't a fair matching. This would help level set the game so people are not doing that in the game, but still able to come in and have fun and still be challenged.
Ooh, and we could do like a thing. So say someone just doesn't even care about their rank and they just keep doing it. We could put a thing where like if they get killed like 5 times over and over again, we would put a thing on the top of their screen that says be invincible, but you can't attack someone. We do that. Like you can't attack them, but they can't attack you. So it's like win-win.
I like that. So we have community coin. These are like the key features. We have store, help, training room, wishing fountain, locker room, levels. Oh, and then there needs to be challenges.
Challenges. Essential.
Okay, and then is there anything else that I'm missing?
If anyone wants to
community challenges, levels. Oh, I need levels and worlds. So those are like the same thing, right? You have different levels and worlds. You have challenges. The things that I was thinking about challenges is like there's certain races that you have to beat certain times, and then there's always like whoever can get through the level the fastest. That would be like an example of a challenge, and then you win something if you complete it, or like other surprises. And I think we need surprises. We need things that are also like very I call them Easter eggs.
Oh yeah, definitely. And I really like that the idea of adding special helmets and gear for like that's a good idea. Where like we can make like rare helmets and they get like rarities. So like it could be like golden, mythic, yeah, you get it. So it could be like legendary, common, uncommon, mythic, which is the rarest, and rare and ultra rare, and
and weapons. So all those things will kind of be in the store, so you can actually, and we'll definitely figure out like how to start people off with funds so they can go in and buy a certain level of things and get to experience that off the bat versus like having to do a whole bunch of effort. We want to make it fun at different levels, and that kind of ties into this this one where there's a nice flow of action happening. So like in the beginning you get a lot of stuff, and then there'd be like another challenging point. So we want a nice flow throughout the game so you don't feel like it's taking forever to do things. All right, cool. So Jude, what we want to do now is let's switch back over into reflection mode. We're getting towards the end of the show, and what we want to do is just talk about like things that went really well for the show and things that we could do better for next week. How about you? You want to start off the show? What went really well?
I think this last part went really well. We got tons of really good ideas. Thanks to all you amazing people, we got amazing ideas that helped us out, and that felt good.
Okay, fantastic. That did, I think, nailed it. What's something that could have been better?
Could have been better?
Yeah, what could we have done better in the show? This is kind of like our opportunity to show up better next time.
Okay. Maybe I think I could have talked about the map a little bit better, but I think we did pretty good.
Okay, and what about when you were talking about the map could have been better?
I forgot the yeah.
Okay, so you forgot a few things, but you did awesome. So I want to give you a big shout out for just thinking about the opportunities. For me, I think things that it could have gone, or things that went really well, as I think we covered a lot of ground today. I felt like this is the third episode of Design with Us, and we're starting to find our groove, starting to find out how to get the process. We've learned a lot about game design. I'm starting to feel really excited about this game, like even more excited than when we first started about it.
Same.
And a huge milestone we had this week was. Oops, sorry about that. Hold on.
I can't see. I'm blinded.
Yeah, so you can actually see this game. I mean, just building this game this week was a huge milestone for us.
It was fun too.
And and I just feel like just proud that we were able to not rock that out and just
did an actual game that people could play. Like, that feels good.
It feels pretty good. It's pretty cool.
Really
it's
good.
pretty cool. And then as far as things that we things that could have been better, I think that just in my mindset, I want to have more prepared for you to really go through a lot of different content. So what I'll try to do next week is have even more preparation to be able to make sure that we're delivering a lot of impact and content for you when it comes to game design and how things can just be smooth in the process. So if there's things that you wish you could see in the next episode, definitely comment down below or reach out to Jude or I on Instagram. Jude's at JudeGamerTV. I'm at A Bridewell, and we would love to just connect with you and get more support around our game. And if you want to support this channel, then definitely like it, share it, and send it to anybody that you think would be interested in learning more about game design and the process of game design and product design. And if there's any other things, then we'd love to hear it. And Jude, do you want to say anything before we kind of close down the show?
Like, subscribe, enjoy.
Yeah, definitely. There's one thing that made me remember, which is Jude and I also started on his channel, Jude Gamer TV. Definitely go there and subscribe. But what we're doing is we're doing a new series on Super Mario 3D World. So if you haven't seen that game, it's a ton of fun. And we are playing that from start to finish. And so far, we've had 2 episodes on that. So World 1, World 2. And we even talk about the game and just have fun, and it's chill. And if you want to check that out, we'll put a link in the description to go check out Jude's channel. And yeah, we'll see you next week. Hope you enjoyed it. And looks like no more comments, so we'll see you later. All right, bye. All right, see ya.